Hello everyone. Today I'm going to walk you through the basics that you need to know to get started with GarageBand in your classroom. So I've opened up GarageBand and you can see that I have selected new project here. That's where I'm at by default. And GarageBand's given me a variety of project types that I can create, from keyboard collection to hip hop or just an empty project. I like to go ahead and use empty project because it gives me nothing to start with, so I'm not restricted by anything. If I choose keyboard collection or hip hop, GarageBand is going to pre-populate some instruments in there already that I can use to create my song or my skit that I want to record. So when I create an empty project, which I'm going to choose now, you can see that I get some options here to start with so that I can use either my keyboard as an instrument, my literal keyboard on my laptop, or I can use my voice to record. I'm going to go ahead and create that. And I've got some things here on my dashboard. You can see my line in here is listening to me as I'm talking. So you'll see that bouncing up and down throughout this screencast. I've got some choices of instruments over here. I can choose from voice, and this is going to give a different effect. Or I can choose to put a guitar on here, or Legacy is the old GarageBand's different preset sounds there. So those are where I can manipulate the way the sound sounds. Here's where I'm going to do my actual recording and what you're going to see as a waveform. So I'm going to start the recording here so you can see what that process looks like. I can hear a click track in the background, and you can see as I'm talking, GarageBand is recording my sound. I don't really need to necessarily worry about that click track if I'm going to just record myself for fluency or maybe record an oral report. So I could turn that off here and go ahead and get rid of that because that might distract me as I'm trying to record my sound. When I want to stop recording, I just click the record button again. Oh, I'm sorry, I clicked the stop button. Simple enough, right? If I want to go ahead and listen to that, this will rewind me the whole way back to the beginning. I can press play and hear myself talk if I wanted to do so. I don't really want to do that, so I'm not going to do that now. If I wanted to add a soundtrack to that, or even if I wanted to add somebody else talking, I can click plus, go ahead and add a new track. My settings will be the same as what I set up before, and I'll go ahead and create that. Let's say I wanted to add a soundtrack to this and not a second person recording, because that would really look the same as the first person recording. I'd just go up here, press record, do my talking, go ahead and press stop and preview it. Let's say I want to add a pre-made soundtrack to this. Well, GarageBand's got me covered. I've got this track selected because it's highlighted. I can go up and choose this thing called the loop selector. It kind of looks like a roller coaster ride. And when I select the loop selector, you see the view changed. I can go ahead and toggle that on or off. I'm going to toggle that back on. And I've got some loops here that are already made by Apple. I can put this loop in here. It's a cool jazz kind of feel, or I could go down to something more dancey if I wanted it to be. And when I find the one I want, I can just drag that in place. But you can see GarageBand has started a new track for me there. If I wanted to put this other audio clip, I could put that there, and we can layer up the audio so I get a really cool sounding narration or song about what I've learned. When I'm all finished creating everything that I want to on GarageBand, what I can do is share this song. Go ahead and share that song. And I can share that song to iTunes, which then I can send the link to my teacher. I could post it online on something like SoundCloud, or I could just export the song to the disk, which really just means save it to my computer. And then I could upload that to Google Drive or Dropbox or wherever my teacher wanted me to put it. I don't want to export that, but what I would do to to export it is just go ahead and click export and it would do its thing. I'm going to cancel that because I don't want to do that. Okay, so then when I want to get back to the beginning view, I would toggle this loop view off, or I could actually leave it on as well. And to get my library back, I just come over here and go ahead and click on library. I can edit these soundtracks as well, just like in iMovie, by clicking it and go ahead and drag it shorter or longer. Or GarageBand gives me a variety of editing options here in GarageBand too. One of them is this cut piece here. If I want to cut something out of my project, I can go ahead and select that. Maybe I made a mistake here in this section. I could put my needle there and go ahead and play it. Oh yeah, I definitely made a mistake right there. Come down in this region, and when I get these crosshairs, I could highlight that little section where I see I made a mistake, go ahead and delete it, or I could try to re-record over it, which is kind of tricky. I might just delete it and put the two pieces together by simply dragging them together up here. So those are some of the basics on how you can start creating narrations on GarageBand, add looped instruments, as well as edit those pieces together and share them. As always, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial.